Good day, everyone. I am Angel Pearl P. Panas, your lecturer for today's lesson. And today, we'll be tackling about the subject entrepreneurship. And to test your abilities and to assess your knowledge about the entrepreneurship subject, I will be giving each one of you a 30-item drill test. So, let's begin. So let's start our entrepreneurship review. Question number 1. An entrepreneur is best described as a person who, letter A, avoids risk, letter B, depends entirely on investors, letter C, creates opportunities and takes calculated risks, or letter D, operates only large businesses. The correct answer is letter C, creates opportunities and takes calculated risks. Because an entrepreneur is someone who identifies business opportunities and is willing to take calculated risks. Let's discuss why the other choices is wrong. Letter A is wrong because entrepreneurs do not completely avoid the risk, but they manage it wisely. Letter B is wrong because an entrepreneur is the one who initiates and manages the venture. And letter D is wrong because entrepreneurs may start small or large businesses. Let's proceed to another question. Which business organization has a separate legal personality? Letter A, sole proprietorship. Letter B, partnership. Letter C, corporation. Or letter D, cooperative store. The correct answer is corporation. Because a corporation is a legal entity separate from its owner. So let's discuss why the other choices is wrong. Letter A is wrong because the owner and the business are legally the same. Letter B is wrong because partners share ownership, but the business is not a separate legal person in the same way as a corporation. And letter D is wrong because the corporation is the standard business form known for separate legal personality. So let's proceed to another question. Which of the following is an example of a fixed cost? Letter A, monthly rent. Letter B, packaging materials. Letter C, electricity used in production. Or letter D, shipping expenses. The correct answer is letter A, monthly rent. Because the fixed costs remain constant regardless of the production level. So let's discuss why the other choices are wrong. Letter B is wrong because it changes depending on how many products are made. Letter C is wrong because it depends with the usage. Shipping is wrong, or letter D is wrong because it depends on the sales and deliveries. Let's proceed to the next question. The process of gathering information about the customers and competitors is called letter A, financing. Letter B, budgeting. Letter C, production planning. Or letter D, marketing research. The correct answer is letter D, marketing research. Because marketing research is the systematic gathering of information about the market. So let's discuss why the other choices are wrong. Letter A is wrong because it refers to obtaining the funds. Letter B is wrong because it involves planning expenses in income. And letter C is wrong because it focuses on organizing production activities. So let's proceed to another question. As what analysis helps entrepreneurs blank? Letter A, compute taxes. Letter B, analyze strengths and opportunities. Letter C, eliminates competition. Or letter D, record financial transactions. The correct answer is letter B, analyze strengths and opportunities. Because what stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And it helps in business analysis and planning. Let's discuss why the other choices is wrong. Letter A is wrong because what is not a tax tool. Letter C is wrong because it does not remove competitors. And letter D is wrong because it is for bookkeeping. Let's proceed to another question. Which pricing strategy uses low introductory prices to gain customer quickly? Letter A, penetration pricing. Letter B, skimming pricing. Letter C, cost plus pricing. Or letter D, premium pricing. The correct answer is letter A, penetration pricing, because it used to enter the market by attracting the buyers through low initial prices. So let's discuss why the other choices is wrong. Letter B is wrong because it starts with high prices. Letter C is wrong because it is based on cost plus markup. Letter D is wrong because it charges higher prices to suggest higher value. So let's proceed to another question. Why is bookkeeping important? Letter A, it records financial transactions systematically. Letter B, it increases production automatically. Letter C, it eliminates business risks. Or letter D, it avoids taxes. The correct answer is letter A, it records financial transactions systematically. Because bookkeeping helps maintain accurate financial records for decision making. Let's discuss why the other choices are wrong. Letter B is wrong because bookkeeping does not affect production directly. Letter C is wrong because it only helps manage information but not remove risk. And letter D is wrong because businesses must still comply with tax law. So let's proceed to another question. Which statement best describes the cash flow? Letter A, total yearly sales. Letter B, movement of money in and out of the business. Or letter C, business inventory. Or letter D, total owner's capital. So the correct answer is letter B, movement of money in and out of the business. Because the cash flow refers to the movement of the cash entering and leaving the business. Let's discuss why the other choices are wrong. Letter A is wrong because sales are not the same as the cash flow. Letter C is wrong because inventory refers to goods, not money. Letter D is wrong because capital is an ownership investment. Let's proceed to another question. An entrepreneur who quickly recovers from failure demonstrates blank. A, dependency. Letter B, resilience. Letter C, fearfulness. Or letter D, laziness. The correct answer is letter B, resilience. Because resilience is the ability to recover and continue after the setbacks. So let's discuss why the other choices are wrong. Letter A is wrong because the person is not relying heavily on others. Letter C is wrong because resilience shows courage, not fear. And letter D is strong because resilience involves effort and persistence. Let's proceed to another question. A business plan is important because it blank. Letter A, guarantees success. Letter B, eliminates competition. Letter C, removes all risk. Or letter D, serves as a guide for business operations. The correct answer is letter D, serve as a guide for business operations. Because a business plan provides directions, goals and strategies for the business. So let's discuss why the other choices are wrong. Letter A is wrong because no plan can guarantee success. Letter B is wrong because competitors still exist. And letter C is wrong because businesses always involves risk. So let's proceed to another part of our session, which is the problem solving portion. So let's analyze this question. A product costs 400 pesos to produce. If the entrepreneur adds a 25% markup based on the cost, what is the selling price? Letter A, 450 pesos. Letter B, 100 pesos. Or letter C, 425 pesos. Or letter D is 500 pesos. So here's a simple computation on how we will get the correct answer. So, if the product is cost 400 pesos to produce, and the owner or the entrepreneur adds a 25% markup, so let's put the cost of the product, which is 400, add by a 25% markup, which is 400 times 25%, so or 0.25, so that we can get the 25% of the 400, which is 100. So it is the selling price. So 100 is the 25% of 400. So 100 plus 400 is equals to 500. So the correct answer is letter D. So let's proceed to another question. So a bag originally cost 1,200. It was sold at a 15% discount. What is the discounted selling price? So, as we do earlier at the first problem, we will originally get the cost of the product, which is the 1,200 pesos, multiplied by 15% to get the 15% discount, which is times 0.15 in decimal point, which is minus 180 pesos. So 180 pesos minus 1,200 is equals to 1,020. So the correct answer is letter A. So let's proceed to another question. So a business earned 85,000 revenue and incurred 63,000 expenses. What is the net income? So there is another problem that we will analyze. So, but first, we will get the earned income, which is the 85,000 minus the expenses, which is the 63,000. So the total net income is 22,000. So the correct answer is letter C. And let's proceed to the next question. So, an entrepreneur bought 50 shirts at 100 pesos each and sold them at 250 pesos each. What is the total profit? So, what we're gonna do is we will minus the selling price of an entrepreneur, which is the 250, to the original price, which is 180. So, the owner is 70 pesos of income already. And we're going to multiply that by the number of the product, which is 50. So, the total profit of the entrepreneur is 3,500. So, the correct answer is letter C. So, let's proceed to another question. So, let's analyze this one. A product is sold for 750 pesos after a 25% markup on cost. What is the original cost? So, let's it has a markup cost. So that means it is 125% markup cost. So the original price is 750, but the owner or the product was sold at a 25% more. So 125% is equivalent to 1.25%. So what we're gonna do is get the price of the product is 750 divided at 125%, 750 divided at 1.25% is equivalent to 600 pesos. To 600 pesos. So the correct answer is letter A. So let's take this. So let's proceed to another question. Entrepreneur gives a 10% discount on a 3,500 appliances. How much is that discounted amount? So, it is quite easy because we will going to just multiply it. So, 3,500 times 0.10, because that is the decimal point of 10%, which is 350. So that's lead us to the correct answer, letter C, 350 pesos. So let's proceed to another question. A business has a fixed cost of 12,000 and a total revenue of 80,500. A variable cost amount to 450,000. What is the profit? So, what we are asking in this question is the profit of the business. So, time for the technical error. So, let's compute the total net price or the revenue of the product. So, let's get the net price by adding the fixed cost, which is the 12,000, and the total and the variable cost, which is the 4,000, 500. Which would equal to 16,500. So to get the profit, we're going to divide 18,000 minus 16,500, which is us to 18,500 pala. Sorry, 18,500. Oh, that's 18,500. 18,500 minus 16,500. That will lead us to 2,000. So the correct answer is letter B. So let's proceed to another question. A cell phone worth 15,000 is sold at a 12% VAT included. What is the VAT amount? So let's calculate the VAT amount of the cell phone. So first, let's get the worth of the cell phone, which is 15,000. Oh, sorry. 15,000 minus, divided by 1.12. 15,000. Divided by 1.12. Because there are total VAT amount of 12% and the 100% price of the cell phone is 15,000. So, which is equal to 13,300. 13,392 or 13,393. So, 13,393 minus 15,000. Okay. 15,000 equals to 1,607.14 because we want of the earlier amount. So the correct answer is letter A. Let's proceed to another question. Entrepreneur sold goods worth 45,000 pesos with a cost of sales amounting to 31,500. So what is the gross profit of the business? So first, the gross profit is 45,000 minus to the sales, which is the 31,500. So the gross sale or the gross profit is 18,000. No. Ay, mali. 45,000 minus 31,500. Yan. Correct ulit yan. So, that's will lead us the correct answer. Letter C. 13,500. So, let's proceed to another question. A product costs 800 pesos and it's market up by 40%. What is the selling price? So, market up, which means it got higher by 40%. So, we have 140%. So, 800 is 800 times, oh no, times 1.40. So, that's going to get 140%. Equals 1,200. So, minus 800. So, that leads us to 320. So 320 plus the product cost. So that is the final selling price of our cell phone. Which is the correct answer is the letter A, 1,120. So if monthly sales are 120,000 and expenses are 95,000, what is the monthly profit margin? So first is we will get the profits, which is the 120,000 minus the expenses, which is 95,000, and that is equal to 25,000. And so that we can get the profit margin, we will divide the total 100,000 to the monthly sales, which is 220,000. So the total profit margin is 20.8%. So that's the correct answer is letter D. So let's proceed to another question. An entrepreneur borrowed 50,000 pesos with a 6% annual interest. How much is the interest after 1 year? So let's get our calculator. 50,000 is the borrowed money. So let's multiply it by 6% or 0.06% times 1, which is 3,000. So the correct answer is letter C. So the 1 is equivalent to the 1 year. So let's proceed to another question. Maria plans to sell milk tea. Her estimated monthly fixed costs are 18,000, while the bulk cost per cup is 45 pesos. She plans to sell each cup for 90 pesos. If Maria wants to earn at least 7,000 monthly profit, how many cups must she sell? So let's get our calculator back. So let's talk about the monthly profit for Maria. So first is the price of the cup. We're gonna go to get the price of the cup minus the standard pricing or the variable cost, which is 45 pesos, and which is equal to 45 pesos. So let's now take the fixed cost or the desired profit for Maria. So 18,000 is the cost or her cost. 18,000 plus the monthly or the expected monthly income, which is 27,000. That will give us to 45,000. And we will gonna going to divide it by the cost of per cup, which is 90 divided by 45 equals, 90 minus 45 equals 45. So 45,000. So minus 45 equals to 1,000. So Maria will have to sell 1,000 cups in order for her to achieve at least 7,000 monthly profit. So the correct answer is letter C. So let's visit another question. An entrepreneur purchased goods worth 120,000 pesos. Due to weak market demand, 15% of the products remain unsold and the remaining goods were sold with a 13% markup based on cost. What is the total sales revenue? So, only 85% were sold based on the description of the problem. 15% of the product were unsold. So, 15 minus 100 is 85. Yeah, 85. So, there's 85% of the product sold. So, the sold products were 120,000. Let's multiply it by 85%. So, 0.85. 85%. We have 102,000. And we will apply the 35% markup for the additional to 35% increase on the product. So that will give us to 135%. So we're going to multiply it to 135%. So 1.35 is a decimal of 135%. So that gives us 137,700. The correct answer is 30. So let's proceed to another question. A business has 450,000 total assets and 180,000 total liabilities. The owner invested an additional 70,000 during the year, while withdrawals total 25,000. What is the ending owner's equity? So let's set our calculator back there. So let's begin with the asset minus liabilities. So 450,000 minus 180,000 stands for our liabilities equals to 270,000. So let's add our investment, which is the 70 at 270,000 plus the investment, which is 70,000, and that will give us 340,000, and we will minus or subtract the withdrawals, which is 25,000. So the ending equity of the owner is 315,000. So the correct answer is letter A. So let's proceed to another question. A business owner noticed that increasing the selling price by 10% causes sales volume to decrease by 5%. Originally, monthly sales were 500,000. What will be the new monthly sales revenue after the price increase? So let's get our magic calculator back. So the new revenue is equal to the original sales multiplied by 100%, but we have a market up or start up by 10% decrease. So that will be 110%. So let's proceed by the total 500,000 times 110%. So that means 1.10. So that is the decrease pala. Decrease. And times D by 0.95 by 95%. So that will lead us to 522,500. So the correct answer is letter A. So let's proceed to another question. Ang clothing entrepreneur bought 300 shirts at 250 pesos each. During the inventory checking, 20 shirts were damaged and could not be sold. The remaining shirts were sold at 420 pesos. What is the actual profit? So, we have damaged shirts. So, let's multiply first. 300 pesos is the original price of the t-shirts and times by 250. 300 shirts times the original price, 250 pesos. And that is the expected of the owner if 100% of the shirts were sold. But since some were damaged, which is 20 shirts were damaged, so that means 300 minus 20. So, the owner has 280 sold shirts. And the sales were 420 pesos each. So, 285 is 420. So, we have a 170,600 minus natin, yung minus natin, 17,600 minus natin. So, if the sold 20 damaged clothes were sold, let's assume. So, we have 8,400 na natitira or nakuha. So, mayroon tayo nawala na 8,400. So, let's go back to our data. So, the total cost, we have now 75,000 by the original price of the 300 clothes. 300 times 250 equals 75,000 minus the profit from selling the clothes or the 280 clothes at 420 pesos, which is the 117,600. So the total profit is 42,600. So that gives us the correct answer to letter C. So let's proceed to another question. A startup business borrowed 250,000 at 8% simple annual interest. Due to delayed operations, the business was only able to repay the loan after 2 years and 6 months. How much total amount should be repaid? So let's talk about here the annual interest or their need to be repaid. So they have a startup of 250,000. We will times it by 8% because that is the annual interest. And let's multiply it by 250%. Why? Because the loan was delayed by 2 years and 6 months, which means per year you need to pay full 100% of the loan. So that's give us 200% equals to 2 years and 6 months equivalent to 550%. So 250,000 times 8% times 2 point or 250%. So that will give us 250,000 interest. So we will add the principal or the loan, borrowed loan. So 50% plus 250,000 is equivalent to 300,000. So So the amount need to be repaid is 300,000 pesos. So let's proceed to another question. The final question. A retailer gives a 20% discount during a promotional sale. However, due to increased supplier costs, the supplier raised the original selling price by 15% before applying the discount. If the original price was 2,000, what is the final selling price? So, let's talk about the discounts of the product. So, let's first take a look about the increase of the product. Increase. So, 2,000 times 15% because it was increased by 115%. And it's 15%. So, that means times 1.5. That will get us to 300 pesos. So, 300 plus 2,000. That will give us 2,300. And they will apply the 20% discount, which is times 80% because it was being multiplied. 80. And that is the final selling price. This is the 1,840. So the correct answer is letter A, 1,840. So that concludes our entrepreneurship review. I hope that you learned something from our lesson, and I hope this helped you to better understand not only the correct answers but also the reason behind them. So I hope that you have learned something from our lesson. Thank you and see you on to our next lesson.